Hi guys, this is Sarah from Rifters of Diphtheria. Welcome to my Cleric Warden
Okay guys, let's have a look at the Warden spec. I want to show you the soul tree I use, I want to show you the spells, the macros, I want to give some explanation on which spell to use and which target and when to use what. And I hope by the end of this tutorial you will understand a bit more about how the Warden specs works and how to play it better. So let's have a look. Let's start with the soul tree. Of course you want to put 61 spell points in the Warden tree. So you have full accessibility to the different spells that Warden has to offer, which is a lot, but that tends to be with every spec you create in Rift. So we'll just go over what we need. I put 15 points in Sentinel. Watchful Gaze got 5 points and it increases my spell power by 10%, which is nice. I put 4 points in Benediction, which increases my healing and absorption granted by 4%. Then I put 3 points in Expeditious. I really like this. It increases your healing and absorption granted with instant spells by 6%. As you can see on my main hotbar, I have 12 spells. 9 of them are instant cast. That means with almost every spell I cast, I do automatically 6% more healing. Above that is Call to Action. This increases your healing done and absorption granted by allies below 75% health for 60%. That means right now that if I heal a target below 75% health with an instant cast, I do automatically 16% more healing, which is a lot. And especially when your raid falls below 75% health, you want that extra 16% health to keep the raid back full up. The last point I used in Touch the Light. Touch the Light is a real Sentinel ability, but I really like it and I missed it in my Warden spec. And although there aren't that many cast time spells, I do really like it. I will show you how I've put it up. It basically it causes the next healing or absorption spell to cast instantly, and it reduces the mana cost by 50%, which is a lot. So even when I'm out of mana, I can still cast these spells. So to the left of Touch the Light, I have Healing Invocation. Healing Invocation is one of my biggest single target heals. I almost never use single target heals. I only use the AoE heals. When I use a single target heal, it's because someone got cleaved or stood in AoE too long, or the tank maybe got too much damage, the tank healer died, or got out of range, or out of mana, I don't know. Then I can use Healing Invocation. But it has a 2.5 second cast time, which is way too long because I only use this to save someone. So I don't have 2.5 seconds to save someone, by then they're dead. So when I use Touch the Light and then Healing Invocation, it becomes instant and it only costs half the mana. Which means that I can, even without mana, I can still cast this. At the other side of Touch the Light, I have Healing Cataract. Healing Cataract restores about 1600 health up to 10 people in your raid or group. It has a 2-second cast time, but again, with Touch the Light, it becomes instant. It isn't a major heal, but it does save your raid, and by the time this is cast, although it's instant, you have some more mana back for a bigger cast, or in that time you can take a mana potion or use one of your mana regeneration spells without come back to later. So let's have a look at the macros that I use. I start with this one. One of the tips someone gave me is to name it 5x, 5 times. I cast this spell 5 times. It's here on my first spell, and if you can see it down there, it says 5x 5 times. So I know I have to cast that 5 times. What it does is it casts Symbol of the Torch and Soothing Stream. Symbol of the Torch is what you get from the Purifier in your soul tree. You don't put any points in there, but you do get this Symbol of the Torch, which is really nice because it absorbs 5,000 damage in 30 seconds, which is a lot. You can cast this spell on multiple people. I don't know if there's no one around, else I could have showed you. You can keep using this. There's no cooldown on it. It's instant. It's really, really nice. So I combine this with Soothing Stream, which restores about 2,000 health over 15 seconds. Only you can stack this 4 times. If I click my own profile, you can see it right here. So I click this. I already have symbol of the torch, which refreshes. And then I do 4 stacks of soothing stream. So 5 spells in total, 5 clicks in total. You can see right here, 4 stacks. After I've used this and I have 4 stacks saved up, I go to my second macro, which is on my second button. It casts Healing Spray and Ripple. Healing Spray restores 7,500 health over 15 seconds. And Ripple spreads the healing. I will read it for you because it makes it a little bit easier to understand what I actually mean. Ripple spreads the Cleric's Healing Spray and Soothing Stream from the target to up to an additional 5 of the target's party or raid member. So basically, it does your Healing Spray and your Soothing Stream, and it spreads to 5 people, which is really nice because Soothing Stream alone does 8,000 healing. 4 stacks of 2,000 is 8,000 healing for 5 people. That's a lot. So that's really nice. The other macro I will come back to later. Let's go over the rest of the keys. Orbs of the Stream. This applies 3 orbs, and when you get hit, it restores 2,600 health, and it removes 1 orb. So it heals 2,600 health 3 times, which is really nice. I put this on the tank almost always. Only in Warfronts I use it on other people. Healing Breath is your burst heal. It heals almost 5,000 health. It's insta-cast. It's really nice. It does a lot of healing, but it has an 8-second cooldown, which is pretty long. So, yeah. As you can see, by the time I'm done talking, I can cast it again, but in a raid, it really takes a long time before those 8 seconds passed. Overflowing Renewal restores 5,000 health, and overhealing is spread up to 2 of the allies' party or raid members. I don't really use this spell a lot, mainly because it's not insta-cast. It has 2-second cast time, which I dislike, but it's a nice spell. It does a lot of healing. You could use this on the tank, and the overhealing is spread to 2 other people, which is nice. But personally, I don't really use it. Healing Flood heals about 2,000 health over 15 seconds up to 10 party or raid people. This really doesn't do that much, but when you're running around, sorry, it's this one. When you're running around, you can cast this and while you're on the run, which is really nice because this way you can keep your raid up to minimum, but it's doable. So, don't expect big things from it, but when you're walking around, this is really nice. Okay, Pool of Restoration heals up 10 people, and it restores about 1,000 health, but you need to be close to each other. It jumps from one person to the other, basically. So you need to be close enough in range to really make it spread to 10 people. Orbs of the Tide is the sister of Orbs of the Stream. This is the AoE version. It applies 3 Orbs of the Tide. It heals only 800 instead of 2,500. But it's spread up to 10 people. So that is really nice. And 3 times. So you heal 3 times 800 health. Which is really nice. Healing Infusion. This is a really nice heal. The only fact is, it costs tons and tons of mana. It does a lot of healing. You should only cast this probably when 5 or 10 people are below 75 or maybe even 50% health before you start casting this. And make sure you don't spam it. If you spam it, I will show you. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times I've casted it, and my mana is on 50%. That's ridiculous. You shouldn't waste your mana on that. So the other big heals are here. We'll start with Downpour. It's the lowest, or does the last healing. Downpour has a 6 seconds channel, which is really long. So you should really only use this if you know for sure that you can stand still for 6 seconds, else it's just a waste of mana and a cooldown. It has a 1 minute cooldown, so it spreads about 7,000 health up to 10 party people over 6 seconds. So it isn't really a huge heal, but it's nice, and it has a 30-meter range, which is really nice in war fronts or raids where you're spread out a little bit further. The other really big heal is Monsoon. This is also a 1 minute cooldown, and this applies Healing Flood, Healing Spray, and 4 stacks of Soothing Stream up to 10 party or raid members with 1 click. There we go, you can see it under my profile. More and more buffs and heals show up. So this does tons and tons of healing. Just from Soothing Stream alone, you get 8,000 health per person. So times 10, that's a lot. It's a really nice spell that I really prefer to use. And the last spell on my bar is again a macro that I skipped on purpose because I didn't want to confuse you guys. So I've called this Tidal. It casts Tidal Surge and Wave of Renewal. Tidal Surge is a self buff, and it increases the cleric's damage, healing, and absorption granted on their next ability by 80%. 80%. That is a lot. It has only 45 seconds cooldown, which is really nice because it means you can always use it with one of your big cooldowns. So I use this with Wave of Renewal because Wave of Renewal restores 7,000 health to all party or raid members in an expanding ring. After 3 seconds, the ring contracts back inwards, restoring the same health amount again. So it heals twice 75,000 health. I'll show you what it looks like. It's like a little tsunami. There we go. Out. Then you're done casting and you can cast something else while it comes back, which is really nice. Yeah, so it does a lot of healing. Okay, the other spells we have 2 cleansing spells. One single target cleansing water removes 1 curse disease or poison. And then we have Creative Waters, which is exactly the same, only for 10 party or raid members, and it does it for 3 seconds. So it can take off more than 1 curse because it can take off 3 in 3 seconds. Then mana regeneration, very important for Wardens because we get out of mana so fast in certain raids, fights, it's crazy. So we have Cascade, which restores mana equal to 15% of the Cleric's maximum mana over 3 seconds. It's a fairly short cast time. It has a pretty long cooldown, 1 minute. And it doesn't really give that much mana back, so I use this in emergency situations where I need to cast, for example, my Tidal Wave and my Wave of Renewal. Tidal Surge, sorry. So then I cast Cascade, and then I know I have enough mana to pull this off. Which is nice. The other mana regeneration spell we have is Open Water. It's a 10 seconds channel and restores 5 mana each second over 10 seconds. So that is a very long spell. You don't have to finish it because it has no cooldown, so you can just walk a bit and use it again. I use this between fights. I use it in raids, boss fights where, you know, the second part of the boss has to walk down the stairs or has to spawn, or I don't know, the dragon in Trip Drown Halls, for example. I use this while waiting while the DPS nuke down the hive. So when the dragon comes, I'm back on full mana and I know I can heal the raid and heal the tank if needed. So the other spell we have is River of Life. This brings the fallen ally back to life, restoring 50% health and mana usable in combat. It's your combat res. It isn't very spectacular, but it does the job, so yay for that. Then the buffs. The big difference, if you play Sentinel, you know that you have 8 or 9 buffs that you have to buff up. If you die and you get a battle res, you need to reapply 8 or 9 buffs, which is a lot. I mean, by that time I'm dead again. So probably because of my health, but okay. So with Warden you only have 3, so let's go over them. We have Bunsen's Blessing. This causes area effect healing spells to restore 220 health, and it increases damage dealt by 10%. I don't really need that damage dealt, but the area effect healing spells is nice. It gives just a little bit extra. Heroic Resolve increases endurance by 70 on the target and all of their party or raid members. Really nice. 70 endurance is a lot. And Shared Access is a really nice buff. It distributes 25% of overhealing received from the Cleric to up to 5 other party or raid members. It can only affect one ally. I use this on different people. If I decide that my health is the lowest in the raid, I will use Soothing Stream, Healing Spray, and Ripple on myself, and I will put Shared Access on myself as well, because I overheal myself with all these spells, and it will spread out to 5 other people. If I decide that the tank will get so much damage that I should put these stacks on the tank, my heal overtimes on the tank, I will also put Shared Access on the tank. If the other healer has lower health than me, I will cast this on the other healer together with Shared Access. So that's pretty easy to understand. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about is rating. There are a lot of stats for DPSs and tanks, what they need: 400 hit, 400 toughness, that kind of stuff, 8.5k DPS. For healers, there isn't really that kind of information. You just have to try it out. What is most important is that you have health. Right now, unbuffed, my health is 1500, which is really extremely low minimum for Intrep Jarn Halls and Dragon Queen. If I die and I get a battle res and I'm not buffed up, I will die from the next AoE again. It's actually just too low. So what is most important is that you have at least 1500 health. If you want to look at my other stats that I have, my health is so low because I don't have any essences with endurance. I only have 1, I think. Yes, here it is. 1 with 40 endurance. I should have all with endurance and wisdom. Very important. So wisdom is the most important stat. I hope you know that by now because you're looking at a level 60 tutorial. But this is some of my gear. It isn't really the best yet. It's just, you know, it's doing its job. It's tier 1 rating gear. I have 3 set pieces right now, which is nice. So yeah, about starting to raid as a healer, just try it out. Take an ice pog or ask your guild if you can come, and make sure you also have a DPS spec. This is really important, as you can see right here. Roll. I have 9 different rolls, which is a lot, maybe too much. I don't even use these 2. But if you're going to raid in the beginning and it's not working out, you have 2 options. You leave or you change the DPS. So this is why it's important to have a DPS spec, a range spec, a melee spec, a tank heal spec, an AoE heal spec, you know, so you can try out different settings, different things in a raid. It's really hard to try out a Warden spec without a raid. I mean, you can try it in a Warfront, but you need to be lucky. I mean, everyone is running all over the place. You don't know if people follow tactics, if you're not with a pre-made group, of course. And yeah, so try out different specs in raids and just accept it when the guild leader or your raid leader asks you to change to a different spec or go from healer to DPS because you're just not going to make it that night. And make sure you get some better gear. It's better to just do another week of random Storm Legion experts than to go in with too low gear, because you will mess it up for 9 other people, and that's just a shame. So this was my tutorial. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys.